Hello again and welcome to day 2 of the 30 pose journey. Thanks again for meeting me back here in the Zen Den, and today's posture is plank pose. This is a really great way to build strength, confidence, and again, integrate that body for the journey ahead. So if you're not on your mat, I invite you to meet me here and let's get started. All right, plank pose. Why is it so important? Why do we need to learn it from the get-go? Plank pose is going to help cultivate incredible amounts of strength as well as confidence and teach us how to integrate the body. So I'm going to say integrate the body 1,000 times in this journey that we're about to be on, and that's because we're working up to some pretty advanced postures that will require plank pose, mountain pose, all these shapes, either upside down or balancing on one foot. And it's really important to learn it right and learn it right from the get-go. So let's start. If you're not on your mat, come on, meet me. And let's just start in tabletop position and start to become aware of really what's necessary here. So stacking shoulders over wrists and knees underneath the hips. I want to first bring your attention to the fingers, the hands. The most important aspect here is really lengthening between each fingertip, pressing down between the knuckle, so the padding, and then specifically between the index finger and the thumb. So this space right here in between these two fingers, this webbing, will eventually be what helps you stay up in a handstand in the future. So starting to learn that right now in our practice. Once you have that wrist and finger strength shape going on, start to really take the strength of those wrists and cultivate it all the way up through the arms and then broaden through the shoulders. So making space across the upper back here, feeling the neck grow long. From here, holding this and maintaining this, bring your attention to your belly area, hugging that belly button up towards the spine. And as you can see, my pelvis, my sacrum, will start to release down. Let's just hold here. Yeah? Take a few breaths. This should be a little bit of work for you. It's definitely work for me right here in this moment. Take 3 breaths. Last round. Okay, let's add on a little bit more now. So continuing to maintain everything going on in the fingers, the wrists, and the arms, rolling the shoulders outwards, making space in the neck, hugging that belly button up towards the spine. Push into the tops of your feet and just slightly lift your knees. Oh yeah, it's going to turn on immediately. Let's take 3 breaths here. You can do it. Inhale through the nose. Maintaining everything. And let it go. Whew. Send the hips back. Just take a child's pose for a moment. Relax the head down. Reach the fingertips forward. And then coming back up into that tabletop position, let's make our way into the full posture. So knowing that you can stay right here. If you're building strength and you're cultivating all this that's going on, stay here and practice lifting the knees, honing in on the wrist, the arms, the shoulders, and that belly activation. If you'd like to move a little bit further with me, here we go. So stare down at the fingertips. You're pushing down between each of the knuckles, specifically the webbing between the thumb and the pointer finger. We're lifting from the wrists all the way up through the shoulders and then making a lot of space on the back as we lengthen through the neck. Belly button hugs in and we step 1 foot back, gaze forward here, and step another foot back. Imagine that you're a long line of energy from the crown of the head all the way back through the heels. Continuing to lift up out of the wrists, not letting the chest sink down, lifting up and out, making that space between the upper back. And now my last pointer before I invite us to breathe is by allowing the belly button to stay glued up towards the spine, we melt the tailbone down and make a lot of space in the low back. And now let's continue to breathe here, 3 deep breaths. Last round. And soften the knees down, send the hips back. Take a moment in extended child's pose, balasana. And come back to tabletop pose. A few other things I want to point out today before I let you go is if you're suffering or feeling any kind of wonkiness in your wrist, I invite you down into forearm plank, which in my opinion is a lot harder, but it's going to take the weight off the wrists. So you just come here. From here, you would push into the elbows and find that broadening across the back and the shoulders, but everything else is the same. Belly button to spine, tailbone dropping, energy from the crown of the head back to the heels. And if you're not able to hold plank pose and maintain the structure and you're finding that the low back is dipping and you're creating this banana back shape, I invite you to just drop the knees and hold here. Focus on maintaining the strength in the arms, the chest, and the shoulders, and then maybe pushing into the tops of the feet and practicing here to start. Whew, I'm already tired. So plank pose, super important, really great posture. Practice it every day. You can set a goal for yourself, 5 breaths, 10 breaths, a minute, 2 minutes. Maybe you're superwoman, superman, and you want to do 5 whole minutes. If you do, please email me and tell me. I'd love to know. So thank you so much for stepping on your mat, plank pose. Tomorrow is day 3, and we're progressing into chaturanga dandasana. I'll meet you back here then. Hey journey goers, Allie here with a huge favor to ask you. If you love practicing yoga alongside me and want more of it, then please subscribe to the channel. By supporting me, you inspire my journey, which then I hope inspires yours. As always, thank you for stepping on the mat with me, for being a part of this community, and for making the commitment to live your journey.